So, fighting is stupid. As somebody who has been in almost all forms of combat, the human activity of violence against another human being is stupid, selfish, and whatever. So, because of that, I feel compelled to talk about this. Right? So this looks like a bunch of words to say, why am I doing what I'm doing? Well, most of the time people don't invest enough effort into really trying to figure out why they're doing what the hell they're doing, which is why humans make such poorly informed decisions. So, I like to call this Soul Searching 101. So, what are you looking for? Like you. You there with the dapper camouflage pants. What are you looking for?
Purpose.
So meaning. Alright. I'm gonna give you the secret. And you're not gonna like it because it's like all pop, no kick. It's like when you don't get to finish into completion, right? So, yeah, at the end of the day, meaning is internal. There is absolutely zero external source of meaning. And at the end of the day, you can fight that fact all you want. But what you're going to find repeatedly validated for you day in and day out is that none of the things that you feel like should validate your life or give it meaning actually do. The thing that does in actuality give your life and your activity meaning is you. You assign meaning to all the things that you find it in. So that being the case, that's both the worst news and the best news you're ever going to get in your entire life. You know what I find meaningful? I find reading books written by guys who have been dead for 2,000 years meaningful. Why do I find it meaningful? Because they looked at life through a simpler lens. And that simpler lens was able to receive a whole lot more information that wasn't tainted by the stupidity of human excess. Right? There were rich people then, there were poor people then, but none of them were as rich or as poor as they are today. Because even the materially bereft were still able to receive a whole bunch of sustenance, both spiritually, intellectually, and when it came to eating, right? Even physically, they had a bunch of people looking out for them. And of course, it was simpler then because we didn't have egomaniacs and maniacal monetary overlords in the same capacity that we do today. You know, remember, even the richest people only had a couple thousand denaries, while the poorest had none. You know, it wasn't the case of having nigh unto trillionaires and people who have no dollars, right? It was different back then. Now, even so, making your own meaning is going to be one of the best things that ever happens to you. It's an extremely liberating experience. When I stopped looking for meaning and I started making it, I was able to dictate the terms of every engagement of my life, right? I had to go through all this therapy to figure all this shit out. And when I did that, it really forced me to recognize who I was, for better and for worse, right? The good parts of me and the bad parts of me, the in-between parts. And a lot of times people will try to remove like having qualifications like good, bad, or indifferent. But at the end of the day, you're always going to do that because you have some sort of moral compass, right? So it's always going to influence it. So getting back on task here, if you're looking for meaning, you're going to find that inside. Now, secondly, what do you think learning this skill and taking this fight is going to give you that you don't already have? Oh, that's a hard one, isn't it?
That's a completion to a journey I started a long time ago.
Oh, okay. So what's that journey?
That means to an end. The journey started off as me being a martial artist and doing what I love. Pursuing
okay.
a passion.
Okay, that's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Now, if you ask me...
It's not a passion anymore, though.
Oh, it sounds like we're getting somewhere now. All right, how long have you been doing some kind of martial arts or another? How many years?
Probably 20 plus.
How old are you?
I'm 33.
33.
Yeah.
So 2/3 plus of your life have been dedicated to this journey.
Yes.
And what are you trying to complete? And you trying to put a bookend on it?
Not necessarily put a bookend on it, but present an example.
You want to have something to show for it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
Some
we want, even if it's just one win,
Yep.
just one win,
Yep.
trying all the different arts, trying all the different fields, you want the one.
Want one.
All right.
To justify the journey, to make up for the time spent, the sacrifices made,
Heard
people hurt, the injuries,
Yeah.
the mental.
Oh man, it sounds like there's a lot of baggage there.
Yeah,
Like
it's a
an
lot of
incredible amount of baggage.
There's a lot of baggage.
All right, so this is where it really kind of gets serious. You make the meaning, right?
Right.
Have you enjoyed the time you've spent learning and teaching?
Yes. Very much so.
Which did you enjoy more?
To be honest with you,
Uh-huh.
because I spent so much time having to learn on my own, learning became it became a very important thing in my life. And being able to be taught became a very important thing in my life. But learning how to teach others, overcome,
It's
gonna
a
be
hard
teaching.
question.
No, it's going to be teaching because there's just more to come from it than
You
than-
get more out of
yeah.
it.
Because trying to show somebody else the path to overcome the obstacles that you did and show them a better path, it's more fulfilling.
Why do you think I do it? Why are we having this conversation right now, Willie? Right? Okay. So, what do you think learning this skill will give you, or taking this fight? A bookend. We'll say a bookend, and not necessarily like you're gonna quit doing the thing, but you want to have the thing to show for it.
Sure.
Even if it's just that one medal, that one trophy, that one little certificate. I get it. Trust me.
Sure.
All right. So, and that's why I kind of blended questions 2 and 3 here. But what do you think victory or defeat will give you that you don't already have? So, if you were to lose,
Yeah.
right? Is that just going to make you want to do it one more time?
I don't know.
All right. Now, I pause there.
Okay.
Is it actually worth going through the whole process all over again? Because in the eyes of other people who have absolutely no say in the conduct of your life, right? People who have no say over your value as a human being, all they can do, most of whom are people that haven't even done the shit,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
What merit have they to have any say in the perception of you? Absolutely zero. That's the
zero.
answer. The answer is zero.
Zilch.
Less than zero. So
Right.
fuck them.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I'm gonna have to bleep that out. Forget to bleep that out, right? But at the end of the day, quack them,
Yeah.
right? So, I think one of the things that will help you the most, eliminate this from the equation. Because one thing that I really want fighters to understand is that victory one night is not commensurate to a greater understanding of the activity or of being better at it than the other person, except for one night.
One exchange.
You know how many people I've boxed, how many people I've fenced, how many people I've had to do other things with, who either I've beaten when they could normally mop the floor with me, or who have beaten me when I could normally mop the floor with them?
It's a perfect storm of probability.
It is,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And if you're one of those people that has trouble concentrating on doing a thing, or you have too many other responsibilities and distractions, the fact that you still even show up to do the thing at the end while frankly ill-prepared speaks more to your character than it does to your ability or your performance.
Yeah.
Your ability to show up at the end of the day is the most important thing. So if we were to just stop right now and take stock if the meaning comes from inside, right? So you make the meaning. You enjoyed learning and teaching, and you are the only one with the character, right? The willpower. What of these things is validated by victory or defeat? None of them. Because at the end of the day, the thing that matters is the experience and the journey that you went to get there.
True.
So at the end of the day, the fight is meaningless. The fight is the dog and pony show that comes at the end of the general's visit. The general comes to see the camp, make sure that all your shit's where it's supposed to be, make sure all the training's getting done, and then y'all go and do the thing that he wants to come watch, right? And you're just going to have some hyperbolic show where there's a bunch of magnifying glasses on a bunch of bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Everybody's going to go and they're going to inspect every single thing you do. They're going to judge everything you do. And you know what?
They don't even care afterwards.
Yeah, they don't care afterwards.
They don't care what's broken inside.
They don't know.
Or what you achieve after.
Exactly. Right? Victory.
You literally get lost in the ocean in the next fight.
Victory is a fleeting
Oh.
thing. Victory and defeat are both fleeting things.
Yeah.
So the minute you stop caring, right? So there's this interesting thing about performance. If you don't care at all, you perform here, and then ultimately you don't perform. Then you care really hard, and it gets you to about here. Some people are going to care really harder, and maybe it gets them there. But you know what? The people that get here, to the absolute apex, the ones who become the thing in an esoteric and spiritual way, more so than even a philosophical one, they're the ones that stop caring about the competition. Because it's not a competition. It's an activity. It's a thing they do. And when you just say, this is the thing I do, and you have no emotional involvement in it whatsoever because you got your emotions out in the process of learning and going on the journey and appreciating the journey that got you there, all of a sudden this means nothing. And then your performance goes, whoop! That's what happens.
Yeah, but I have that sense of detachment already. It's just something doesn't sit right afterwards. I don't know what. It's like I have that sense of detachment. I have that, I've come to the realization I'm not just a fighter. I'm not X, Y, Z. Mm-hmm. But there's still some incomplete part of that formula and that theory that I don't know.
So there's still something.
I kind of resent that detachment because that's a
Because
tool that I've had to adapt.
Because you think it's dejection.
Yes, because it's a tool I've had to adapt because saying it out loud sounds weird, but I haven't accomplished what I set out to accomplish. It doesn't feel
wait.
right.
What did you set out to accomplish?
You know what? To be a fighter.
To be a fighter. So you think that being a fighter is contingent upon victory?
No. It's
Oh.
a lifestyle. It's an exchange.
Oh.
But that was at the
Oh, so you just disproved your own point.
yeah, okay. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe a part of me feels ashamed to say it, but I wanted to be the best.
All right. Okay.
I wanted to reach the pinnacle.
That's
That's everybody.
You know what? Somebody, and this might stick somebody's craw the wrong way. Somebody in your past failed you.
Oh, plenty of people have failed me.
No, somebody in your training staff.
Oh, yeah.
Because a good coach is going to temper your expectations and help you come up with a realistic short-term goal. Because again, the way you get here is not just starting here and walking there. Getting here is figuring out what this step is that gets you from here to here, then figuring out this step that gets you from here to here, then figuring out this step that gets you from there to there, there to there, there to there.
But then,
now
like-
all of a sudden you have a cogent way of getting there.
But by no means is it linear.
Oh, it's never linear.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. The thing that gets you there is this is the most important step.
Step one, the beginning. Or the goal?
Not even, right? It's whatever the thing is that you have to do right now. Your goal is always here. Because what got you to here was all this other shit that was here that you don't even recognize. Everybody always worries about this, right? NFL players have a really good job of saying, the only thing that matters right now is this game, this week, right now.
Yeah.
And short-term vision is the best thing for victory out there. And it's great in defeat too, because you're already on to the next one. But the next one's the only one that matters. Because I want to be the greatest. Well, how fucking nebulous is that? You want to be the greatest in Cobb County? You want to be the greatest in the Southeast region? You want to be the greatest in the United States?
I mean, I did that already.
You want to be the greatest in what?
I don't know. Not
All right.
anymore.
That's
Not
the
anymore.
that's the thing. You know what is important?
I have no idea about what that goal's been diminished so many times.
Nebulous,
Yeah.
right? So here's the thing.
It faded away with my first loss.
Worry about being the best that you can be, and not 5 years from now, not 5 minutes from now, right now. Be the best at your craft that you can be right now. And if you do that consistently, then you are the best. And that best will increase over time. But you have to focus on that. And that's why I always harp so much on thinking it, feeling it, going through the process every day, focusing on constancy and consistency, focusing on making sure that you know how to do the thing to the hardest degree so that when you have to change the amplitude based off the change of your environment, you can do it automatically.
Yeah.
These are just concepts of combat that go back thousands of years. And as long as we are the wayward war monkeys that we are, will continue for thousands of years into perpetuity. Right? But nobody teaches this shit to fighters.
Yeah.
So what we're going to work on today, after we finish this little soul search,
Yeah.
we're going to work on making you the best goddamn fighter that you can be right fucking now. And then you know what? Tomorrow, whatever the thing is that you or I or both of us have to do to make you the best fighter in that moment is what we're going to work on then. And we'll do the same thing Friday. And you know what's going to happen? By the end of this camp, whenever that is, whoever your opponent is, you're going to show up as the best version of yourself. And you know what? Being that version as an athlete will also make you the best version of yourself as a person for the people around you and for the people you serve. So, what are you giving back? You teach this to other people, and most of the time you do it for free, right? This isn't even a question for you.
Right.
But what are you giving up? Mental health, sleep, physical health, time,
Relationships.
right? Relationships.
A ton of stuff.
Yeah, right? Giving up a whole bunch of stuff. So, if you don't find meaning in the journey, this again comes back to this little diagram over here, right? All of this means nothing. You ever see that video of Mike Tyson where he's looking at all his belts and he says it's worthless
all
junk?
trash. Yeah.
It's all trash.
Yeah.
Every bit of it is. What happened to Mike Tyson's glory? How are people going to remember Mike Tyson? How do people think about Mike Tyson right now? The guy who was the ravager of souls for 3 decades. How is he remembered? Fighting sucks. It's stupid. But you know what? Some of us have this thing where we have to do it for whatever reason, or we're somehow affiliated to it, or we have to teach it, or it's ingrained into some fiber of our being.
Yeah.
And it sucks, right?
Can't-
People go, it's so cool, man. I wish I was
Can't
better.
purge it. I don't even think it's cool anymore.
It's
I have
not.
I have a distinct
A very distinct dislike.
dislike for fighting.
Yeah.
And like disdain for it, man. I
Yeah,
don't
so
even
you know
think
what?
it's cool anymore, I
At
think.
the end of the day, that's the lesson you come to. That's why you never see actual tough people having to try themselves or try to show themselves as tough guys to other tough guys. Because real recognizes real. When I meet some fighter and like we bump our hands together and there's that thud,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's all I need to know.
Yeah.
Right? When I see some guy start to tear up when he hears the national anthem and then he fucking spaces out because he remembers some dumb shit that happened in Kandahar or some shit that happened in Helmand, I'm like, you know what? That's real.
Yeah.
Why do I need to prove myself to him? I've been there, got the stupid t-shirt for most of this dumb shit, and he has too. Maybe we should just recognize each other and appreciate each other. I know this sounds kind of hippy-dippy, but like at the end of the day, that's what this should all be about. Learn something, make yourself a better version of yourself, and then give something back. If you do those things, all of a sudden this becomes something different. That's why I don't really train fighters anymore, right? And I got now on this YouTube channel, like all these people hit me up, oh, train me. That's why I'm doing this video, because I want you, to see this and to hear this from somebody who's done it for a long time, from two people who have done it for a long time, right? Do it for the reasons. At the end of the day, the one thing that's never going to fail you is love of craft. If you love learning the thing and teaching the thing and doing the thing, all right, that's the reward in itself. And the sooner you realize that, the less all this other noise, all this stuff, all these people yapping, right? Oh, I own this gym. Look at me. I'm tough. I don't care. Great. You're a tough guy. Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, you're sleeping on a bed full of money. Good for you. I don't care. Doesn't impress me. Good character impresses me a lot more than being rich because good character is hard to find. I can throw a rock and hit some rich asshole, especially in this neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care about that. All right. So the whole reason I put the why last, right? What is your why right now versus when you started?
My why when I started was because I had a huge void in my life. I didn't know what to do after school, and I just did not like who I was. My self-esteem wasn't there, even though it should have been, because I was a world-class athlete, but I felt like so many opportunities were passing me by because of my status in life.
Yep, heard
And
that.
because of the amount of income my family had, I
Yep.
never got to fulfill those dreams. So then it spiraled, and then my why for starting martial arts became, oh, this is deja vu, this is horrible. This moment, I'm having deja vu, this is horrible. Okay, and the why, oh man, this is deja vu from like years ago, this is weird. I was like, who's that white guy in my dream? It's kind of crazy. But it was just because I was just like, man, I can do that. I love martial arts. I can do it. And I didn't necessarily believe in myself, so I kind of just pushed myself head forward to make myself better. And to kind of, I don't know, I was seeking validation, honestly.
So we've come full circle.
Yeah.
So here's my challenge for you. Forget about the fight at the end. Get your appreciation, right? And appreciation is the better half of joy. Man, I read that in some stupid like self-help book. I was at the bar, just throwing back Tropicalias, and I saw this line, and it's just appreciation is the better half of joy. And it's resonated with me ever since. Because when you focus on the joy, it's temporary. It's the same as victory. It's fleeting. But when you focus on the appreciation, what you start to notice is you appreciate the smell of your gloves that you think is so gross.
Yeah.
You start to appreciate how sopping wet your clothes are. You start to appreciate the feeling when you wake up in the morning of, oh, I'm fucking sore, right? You begin to start appreciating those things. And when you start to appreciate those things, you reframe the reason of why you're doing it. And then all of a sudden, you have some fucking meaning.
You're right.
What's up? You need a bathroom? This
Yes.
one. I say I'm psychic.
write this down.
Real quick. Success in most things. Most of us, please, are here. And there used to be way more of these, but they're starting to disappear and come down here to hang out with us. And then you got a couple of these, and they're jerks. But you know what's even worse? In fighting, here's everybody. Here's all regular jack-offs. And then you've got 90 to 95% of them get here. This is the guys that are like a national champion of something. And then you got the guys that actually make the money. And you know what? The even bigger divide is fighters that are even here have some rich white guy who makes 7 times this amount who's up here. And all he does is just shit on all these people. Remember that. That's why fighting is stupid and you don't want to do it for a living. Always make it your plan B.